set, get down everybody.
What's going on, guys? I'm Biofuze. On GameSpot I'm known as Bioshock Raptor.
And I'm Curly. To celebrate the release of Resistance 3, we're going back and reviewing the first two games, giving our thoughts on them and seeing if they hold up today. We'll also be doing a preview for Resistance 3 at the end of the video, so stick around till then.
Originally we were planning to not include spoilers, but then we felt we were missing out on too much. So be warned, there will be spoilers about the first two games, but there won't be any on the third game, so don't worry about that. You can also click the titles down the bottom to be taken to that part of the video also. Resistance Fall of Man, released late 2006 in the United States along with the PlayStation 3, and March 2007 for Europe and Australia. It's set in England in an alternate history 1951, just after World War II, as an alien virus has been taking over the world and has made its way to Europe. You play Nathan Hale, an American soldier who actually gets infected by this virus, but ultimately the story as a whole is a classic battle between man and beast. What did you think of it at the time of release?
It was a great game, it's a different take on alien shooters, and it was a great fun of the co-op campaign. It was also interesting to see a war game with aliens thrown in and done so well. What were your thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed it as there weren't too many first-person shooters that were too similar at the time like there are nowadays, and there was a lot of fun moments. Blasting through in local co-op was a fond memory of mine, and I always liked the weapons. When I think of Resistance, I instantly think of over-the-top alien weaponry and technology. What were your likes, what were your dislikes?
It was a good story, it was a great design of the aliens and technology, also interesting characters, but full of dislikes. The environments are pretty bland colour, and also need more variety in enemies, a larger range of enemy variety. What were your dislikes or likes?
Well, I thought it was a solid game with an interesting story, with generic parts, sure, but the biggest thing for me was the unique weapons and architecture. Both have appealing and intricate designs, and while the game does lack colour, like you said, the level design really set the mood for me. What do you think about multiplayer?
It was a standard average experience. It was all gun-on-gun gameplay, which is hard to find these days with the kill streaks and bonuses often taking over. But it was alright fun, the guns were fun, but I didn't play much. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, multiplayer for me was quite average, and I didn't really get a lot out of it. But I felt a few of the maps were poorly designed, and there were some classics though that I enjoyed playing. But like I said before, the biggest thing for me is the weapons, as they're both fun to use and to look up. So, ultimate question: does it hold up?
Well, for me, no. It's pretty dated, and there's not much reason to go back. The campaign is worth it though for new fans of the story, and the co-op is fun. So I say, get it for less than $20. Give it 7.5 out of 10. What do you think?
Well, with giants like Halo and Call of Duty, it probably would be a better decision to go for one of those instead of Resistance 1. But blasting aliens in co-op is a lot of fun, and so many games today miss out on cooperative play, which I think is a really big mistake. But I give this game a 7 out of 10. It was unique at the time, but now it feels quite dated.
Resistance 2, released late 2008, was a direct sequel to Resistance 1, picking up literally seconds after the end of the first one. Although it does jump further into the alternate timeline with the Khmer invasion of the United States, in Resistance 2 we see many iconic American cities and a whole lot of aliens to shoot. What were your original thoughts, Biofuze?
Well, Resistance 2 definitely delivered. It was a successful sequel with a lot of new features, a refined multiplayer and co-op mode, and large-scale boss fights which really mixed up the pace of the game. It was one of my favourite games of the year, and also, aside from Call of Duty, my most played multiplayer game series of all time. What did you think when it first came out?
Yeah, it was a great sequel, improved in nearly every way. The graphics looks much better and there's a lot more detail. Boss fights are epic, and there's also a much larger range of enemies. What were your likes or dislikes?
Well, story-wise, there is a great flow of mixture of gigantic boss fights, slow, quiet, and sometimes even scary horror-inspired sequences, tactical gunfights, and this to me is the biggest strength of Resistance 2, the variety. There are a few noticeable frame rate stutters and low-res textures, but honestly this is nearly a 3-year-old game, and things like this are easily forgiven for a game that has so much variety packed into it. What did you like or dislike?
Yeah, it's still a great story, it's a great design of the enemies and locations, there's new enemies, epic boss battles, interesting characters in a much larger range of locations. The removal of co-op though in the campaign was disappointing, and you can only carry 2 guns now.
Well, in the ending, Hale turned and was shot by Capelli. Did you see this coming?
Not at all. I was hoping Hale would continue the sequel in the next game, but I guess it could come up somewhere as a surprise, but it was still a shock to me.
Yeah, so what do you think about multiplayer though?
Yeah, multiplayer was much better than the original. Up to 60 players can be supported with little to no lag. Some guns and power-up abilities are overpowered and some are underpowered, but it's still great fun. Co-op is great fun too, with 3 classes, medic, soldier and spec ops, completing tasks together. But with friends, it's great fun. What do you think of the multiplayer?
Well, it definitely takes a lot more to kill someone in this game, but it's definitely easy to get the hang of. Skirmish mode is a really fun game mode, and though the multiplayer isn't perfect, as some guns clearly overpower others and some underpower others, you know, just like you said, and it's very easy to trap other players in their spawn, being able to kill them over and over again. The co-op mode, however, with up to 8 players and 3 different classes, is just great, and both the multiplayer and the co-op offer hours of enjoyment on top of the main story. We also had a Resistance 2 community game night, which was a lot of fun chatting with the GameSpot Australia crew and playing a few games together.
So, does it hold up today, Biofuze?
Well, absolutely. Like I said, there is a great load of variety, and the visuals are almost up to par with a lot of the games we've seen as of late. And there's just so much to this. It's just complete fun, from the single player to the co-op to the multiplayer. At release, I felt it was an easy 9, but today I'd give it an 8 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, the Resistance 2 co-op and multiplayer are still as fun as ever with the right friends. Last time I checked, there's still a lot of people playing. The great campaign, the crazy boss battles is amazing in some parts. And yeah, it's still a great fun game, which you not miss. I give it 8.5 out of 10.
Resistance 3 will be released early September for the PlayStation 3, set 4 years after the second game. You play Capelli, the man who shot the protagonist of the first 2 games at the end of Resistance 2, who has returned home with his family, and America has pretty much just gone to hell. I'm very excited for this game and really want to see how it turns out. Multiplayer looks very well refined and the visuals look very good.
One thing I'm a bit worried about though is a change in multiplayer numbers. Resistance 2, up to 60 players could play in 1 match. And now for Resistance 3, they brought it down to 16 players. That's a maximum of 8 versus 8. What do you think of this change?
Well, I really don't like this decision, as it feels as though they're trying to match Call of Duty, but one of the things I loved about the multiplayer in Resistance 2 was the amount of people playing and things going on at once. I can't really judge how Resistance 3 multiplayer will actually play until it's out, but it's definitely concerning.
I'm disappointed, but hopefully more features will arrive as a result of this downsize in numbers.
Yeah, they're definitely going for the quality over quantity sort of thing.
Yeah, it could work.
What are the collector's editions and what do they come with?
Well, for Australia we have the Survival Edition, which is $190 last time I checked. This has the canvas satchel bag, Capelli's journal, playing cards, metal tip flask for alcoholics, toy soldiers, and the game, along with the multiplayer bonus DLC and bonuses. For the USA though, we have the Doomsday Edition, which is $150 online. This has a lot of PlayStation Move items. It has the sharpshooter attachments, motion controller, navigation controller, the eye camera, and also Capelli's necklace, which is a nice pop. Also it's the game and also multiplayer bonus content. Yeah.
So thanks for coming on the show and doing this review with me.
No problem, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Curly's GameSpot and YouTube pages can be found to the side here, and we'll definitely be doing something like this again, so stay tuned.